gay.
Meekab one love Meekab one pet.
Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. We are live.
We are here. We are queer. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi, friends.
Hi.
Today we are joined by our special guest, Voxolotl.
Hello, I'm Voxolotl.
Which I should probably be a smart and also put you in the title.
Oh my god, that'd be cool. You don't have to, though. It's okay.
Yeah, I know, but you know, I know, but you know.
Now the challenge is to spell my name correctly. Good
Listen,
luck. I believe in you.
Why would you call me out when I was literally just listen? Wow.
No,
okay.
no, I'm not even calling you out. It's because honestly, I just come up with gamer tags that are really hard to spell. Like my old gamer tag, literally, I think it was spelled correctly like 3 times in the entire time I saw anyone type it. Like, no, it was horrible. Voxolotl isn't so bad though. People can usually spell it. I guess we'll find out. We'll see.
VOXYLOTL.
No, there is no Y. There's no
What?
Y. It's an E.
Okay. There you go. Thank you for helping me out, too, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's okay. I know spelling's really hard, but it's okay. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
But you're here to call me out, apparently. Wow.
No, I would never. I would never.
That's such a lie. That's such a lie.
It's okay.
Wow.
I literally have to spell check all of my posts like 3 times. Like I sit there, I'm like, hi, HI, friends, FRIEND. Like that's literally how I read all. It's like it's horrible. I can't spell.
All right, I think I got it right.
Yay! Probably, possibly, maybe.
Made him sound like
Close
a
enough.
small mouse. You just got called a small mouse.
I mean, I don't know. It kind of genders. I fuck with that. I can be small mouse for the day. Mouse-a-lotl, small-a-lotl, small mouse-a-lotl.
Yeah. Let me just greet everyone in. 2 men, congrats on first. Welcome on in. Lester, hello. Welcome on in. Aminda, hello. Flareon, hello. Welcome. J-Dev, hello. Thank you so much for the 6 months of Prime Gaming sub. Thank you for taking money away from Big Daddy Bezos and giving a small portion to me. Welcome in, Lester. I just meant in the grand scheme of how much money he makes, not yeah. Anyway, welcome in. Man, hello, Jason. Hello, thank you so much for the 50 biddies. Welcome in, Tsukari. Hello, welcome. J-Dev, I think I got everybody. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. I'm just gonna pull up, there. Question. Oh, my eyes. That burns my retinas.
What do you mean? Gaze into the light. Gaze into the light.
That burns my
Behold.
retinas. Bunny boy. Hello, Flareon. Hello. It's blinding. I'll just like put it over there and pretend it doesn't exist until I have to look at it.
Yeah, it's fine. My like mirror is blocking like most of it, and when I look at it, I'm just gonna like turn on my moth brain cells and just be like, the light. The light calls me.
Well, y'all, this is the first episode of my brand new podcast featuring the one and only Voxelato VT. We're out here we're going to be talking about queer stuff, neurodivergent stuff, and that's why I call this podcast Life as a Queerodivergent. It's kind of a cute little mashup of words, because I often will call myself a queerdo, or at least used to much more often. But yeah, queerdo is a term that that's been thrown around for a little while. I have not coined it, but it is out in the ether. Queer weirdo. But
yeah, I think it's awesome. I love the term.
I too as well. I really love it as well, and like just like the idea of like using the term queer to sort of like take away from the just take away from the seriousness of it as well. Like, it is an important thing, but it's not something that has to be like we can bring some light to it, kind of thing, and celebrate our queerness, and be like, well, it's okay to be, weird, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're
Absolutely.
celebrate our differences. Yeah.
100%.
Well, like, the first sort of question on the list would be just if you can tell me a little bit about yourself. You can go as
absolutely
little or as much detail as you want.
All right. So a long time ago, once upon a time, I was born.
I'm kidding. We're not gonna go back that far. That's okay. Hi, my name is Voxelato VT,
or Vox.
My username is like a mashup of
Voxel and Axolotl. I'm way too excited whenever someone figures that out. I'm like, oh my god, they get it. I'm a rainbow axolotl ENVTuber, so I look a little different today, but I really like this model. So I have a live 2D that's like a rainbow axolotl.
It's very cute.
It makes me happy because it has all kinds of gender toggles. I'm gender fluid.
I'm also pansexual, so I like to joke that I'm like the epitome of like conservative memes because I'm like a pansexual gender fluid. Like, nothing is nailed down. I love
that. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I depends on the day, but I usually use any pronouns, and any pronouns are good for me today. I stream like different games, Power Wash, rarely League of Legends because the League haters. I'm kidding, but and then I also host a podcast called VR Rainbow, where I talk about like queer experiences in life and content creation. So, podcast twins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I once ate an entire jar of pickles for my New Year's resolution, and I think that's the last fact you need to know about me.
An entire jar of pickles. Wow, that's...
Yes. In one sitting. I said I was gonna eat like
an entire jar of pickles. So then
one day we got like barbecue, and it came with like a whole tub of pickle spears, which I think counts. Okay, it wasn't a jar, it was a tub of pickle spears, but it was like there were like easily like, I don't know, like 15 to 20 pickle spears in there, and I ate every single one of them, and
I think that counts.
I mean, that's a heck of an accomplishment. That's not something I would personally do, but but I applaud you. I applaud you for your pickle eating.
Oh my god, thank you. I'm too easily entertained. I'm sorry.
I'm not a pickle enjoyer, so I'll leave you all the pickles.
Oh my gosh, thanks. It's okay. I'll eat all your pickles, and chat, give me all your pickles. I'll eat them.
Wow. There's this like
only if they don't want them. I'm nice.
Stereotype / meme amongst like trans femme individuals that who are on HRT, most specifically, like that the estrogen like gives you like an uncontrollable urge for pickles. It's just like a huge craving for I've never experienced such a phenomenon, but apparently it is something that is very, very common.
I've seen those memes and I love them. I think it's fantastic. I love them. But I can't speak for the actual cravings because I am not on HRT of any kind. So
subliminal cravings for phallic objects. Listen.
Oh my god.
I can't confirm nor deny that, Lester. Okay. Hi, Pace. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, so like, how long have you done your podcast for? Like you're you're season 3, like, well, season 2 just ended, but how long is like a season in particular?
Yeah. So gosh, I have to think about the passage of time. I started VR Rainbow earlier this year. I want to say it was in March, something like that. Like March-ish. We'll say March-ish.
Yeah.
I think early March is when I started it, and I started season 1. And then season 1 was 10 episodes, and then ran until like I think April or May, like a little bit into May. And then I took a break. Truthfully, doing season 1 like was incredibly fun, but I didn't know what I was doing, and I tried to do everything by myself, and it burned me out a ton. Like I actually like ended up losing some of the VODs from season 1, which I'm really sad about.
Oh no.
Because I just didn't get around to uploading them to YouTube in time.
Which is okay. I've accepted like it's the way life goes. But more than anything else, like doing season 1, I know this is kind of a side tangent, but it taught me a lesson. So I like took a couple months and figured out how I was going to do season 2 and got some amazing people to help me with it. Fizzy VT and Farrell Sutera and Ruby the Lazy Goblin. I'm going to give them just a quick brief bit of love for helping me with season 2. And then season 2 was 10 episodes, but I took more breaks, and that started in, oh my god, you were the first episode of season 2. You were the season 2 premiere. Did we do an episode in July? Was it
I want to say it was July. Yeah.
Like late July. And so then season 2, it's September, and season 2 just wrapped up like a couple weeks ago. I think we had the wrap-up party this last week. This past week. So and yeah, so it's been most of this year that I've been doing it, and I'm excited to keep doing it and pick up a season 3 probably in late January.
Awesome. I found Vox during Mika's episode. Yay! That's awesome. Oh, that's super cool. That's super cool.
It was so much fun. I was
so blessed to have this person on my channel.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's
true. Hello, skirts into your chat. Hi, Melon. Hello. It was good to see you yesterday. It was good to see you. I told you. Yeah, you did tell me. He told me last night he was gonna skirt into my chat, and he literally just did. Like,
I love it. I love it.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, so like unlike like your podcast, like I know like it revolves heavily, well not heavily, like a good portion of it, the fact that it's like content creators, and like myself, like, you know, I mean, my friends that I know that just happen to be content creators, but
my mom used up all her brain juice.
Oh, thank you, Ale. Oh god, I see a purple carrot. What? I see purple carrot. It revolves like mine, like will revolve more or less on the fact that it's like content creation, and more just the fact that like if that's something you do, then cool, we can talk about that as well. But it has a lot to do more with the fact that, like, you know, people who are queer and neurodivergent, and sort of revolving around that. That being said, like, going on to the next question, how do you experience queerness, and like what does that look like for you?
It's This is a really good question, and honestly, like, I was thinking about this one right before the episode and how I want to answer it. The really, really short answer that I'll expand on is so many things, and the longer answer is I feel like it is like kind of a combination, like I almost want to say like an intersection of identity and
Confluence, if
community.
you will. Yeah.
Confluence, that's the, like, I feel like that's the word I'm looking for, like a confluence of identity and community, and going through both hardship and joy together. But I mean, you know, fundamentally there's some core aspects that, you know, a lot of like queerness revolves around, like gender or sexuality, although there's also other pieces to queerness.
Of course, of course.
And I feel like at the end of the day, it's just about being yourself and what feels right to you, being like who you are inside and loving the people that you love, and finding joy and healthy like relationships, like not even just relationships, right, but like friendships
Yeah.
with people who also see you for who you are.
And well, relationships on that note, like they do come in all shapes and sizes and all flavors, you know, like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like a romantic relationship, you know, like
Exactly.
I you know, friendships and such are relationships unto themselves, you know, like but I really like that. I really like that, the fact that you are including the idea of like community into that, because it is I find like a really important aspect to queerness, is the idea that like where we felt sort of divided and separated, you know, not knowing where you belong or whatnot, suddenly, you know, when you're in this, like, you know, the LGBT community, as we often call it, like it is literally that, and something that we can sort of take pride on, in the fact that like there are others out there who are experiencing like very similar like trials, you know, and why not band together and sort of like celebrate that together, as opposed to, you know, the divide that, you know, society can have at times, you know, and you know, why not join together in this on this path of like diversity, you know. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really enjoy that. Like, well, next I have here, when and how, like, did you realize that you were queer, like, or like gender non-conforming?
Okay. So there's sort of two pieces to this, which is when I realized that I was pan, because that's, you know, a part of me.
Right.
And basically, my first relationship that I ever had was with someone who was, at the time, my girlfriend. That person at the time identified as a girl and no longer does. And honestly, like, I am incredibly blessed and lucky to have a really accepting family. It's something I'm extremely grateful for. And so honestly, like, there were, like, I think I just, okay, all right, I'm gonna tell personal stories here. Like, I don't know how to explain, like, when I first started realizing that I liked her, but, like, you know, I feel like I sound really stereotypical, but, like, I think at some point I probably, like, without realizing it, even started feeling like kind of nervous around her, like butterflies in my stomach. And then, and this was like, you know, when we were teenagers, but one day this person came over for my birthday, and we had a birthday sleepover, and we watched Howl's Moving Castle. And
Nice.
then
Beautiful.
we just like kissed. I couldn't even tell you how it happened. Like I don't remember everything leading up to it, but I can say this, which is unfortunately a lot of people have had a really shitty first kiss, and I will say it was genuinely awesome. Like
Aw, I
it
love
felt
that.
like lightning. Like it's one of my favorite memories because my first kiss was actually really cool. Don't get me wrong. Our lips were super dry and chapped, so then we immediately put on way too much chapstick, so the second kiss was like super sticky and absolutely disgusting, but it was still magical.
I love that. I love
like... So, like, in terms of actual kiss quality, I couldn't tell you, but teenage me, I thought it was the best thing in the world.
Well, hey, like it's the magic and that connection that you had, you know, with somebody that's important, you know, not the like the logistics of the kiss, you know, like.
Yeah, exactly. Like logistically looking back, it was a little rough, but it's a really fond memory, and so I ended up telling my parents that we were dating. And honest to God, kudos to them. I think the first thing that they said after "I'm happy for you" was, "Do we need to order you some dental dams?"
Oh my God.
So, shout out to my parents for encouraging safe sex. I guess.
Hold on, chapstick break.
Well, no, because like the first one was super dry. Because I tend to have dry lips because I don't drink enough water. Shh, you didn't hear that. But
Speaking of which.
so then I was like, hold on, let me put on some chapstick. But then like you put on chapstick and then your lips are like slimy like right after you do it. So it was an experience. I literally, oh my God, I forgot about this. I literally think it was cherry chapstick. Am I
Oh my
no,
God.
it was. Oh my God. Fuck.
Cherry chapstick on top of
Oh
that.
shit.
Wow.
I literally forgot about that until
That's
just now.
iconic.
Holy
That's
shit.
iconic right there. I'm into it.
Uh,
I'm into it. That's
So
awesome.
top 10 moments of my life, I guess, because
man, I forgot about the
right.
cherry chapstick. That makes it top 10. That's pretty iconic. But I thought I was a girl at the time. So
Okay.
but I also knew that I, was attracted to other people. And I think that like I never had a period where I identified as bisexual because I think I just felt like I didn't I just found people attractive, and like that was that. Like I would love someone for their personality.
Right.
But that part of everything was very chill. And like right, wrong, or indifferent, like for me, it wasn't really a big deal because it was something that I could be very private about. Also,
Mhm.
And then, like, okay, this is very winding. I know I'm a rambler, so bear with me.
No,
here.
you're good. You're good.
So, when I got into college, I think was when I started having like questions about my gender. And I guess to back up a little bit, like honestly looking back, I had been raised in a relatively gender neutral fashion. So I think part of the reason I
good.
never noticed it growing up is because it just wasn't a big, like, my parents were never forced me to wear feminine clothes. Like when I look back at pictures of me when I was a kid, half the time I was wearing a t-shirt, cargo shorts, and fucking Converse. Like is like I wore like cargo shorts all the time growing up. I was a cargo shorts aficionado.
Wow.
Cargo shorts are cool, and I'm sorry, you can't tell me otherwise. They I don't care if they look cool,
Wow.
they are fantastic. You can fit an entire bag's worth of shit in cargo shorts, and you don't have to hold anything. Cargo shorts are like mega pockets on wheels. It's fantastic. I have literally put an entire goddamn water bottle in my shorts before, easily, and that's why cargo shorts rock.
Sorry, we're getting to the unpopular
This-
takes portion, which is cargo
this-
shorts are great.
This podcast not brought to you by cargo shorts. Not sponsored by cargo shorts.
Not sponsored.
No.
Not sponsored.
But cargo shorts, if you want to sponsor me, hit me up. Wrangler, you want to spot hit me
Cargo
up.
I
shorts
don't know if Mika wants
lobbyist
that
over
cargo.
here. Lobbyist.
I'm your most faithful advocate. Please sponsor me. I'm kidding.
We're in a little bit of an ad break of 30 seconds here, and we're gonna.
Sounds good. No
Cargo
worries.
shorts were the saviors of the CD player era. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, see, okay, that's a fair statement, and I can concur with that. Cause like back when like I was still like cosplaying as a guy, albeit like very terribly, I did just such a thing is wear cargo shorts and carry my Discman along with me, albeit very precariously because it would just like skip at like nothing.
Oh my god. Yeah, I did not have a Discman growing up. I had an iPod. I had like I had like a little tiny like iPod Nano, like the little teeny one that was like a square.
Yeah, I'm slightly older as you know, so you know I mean it's.
Oh my god, what? I had no idea.
I know, right? I know. Generational differences, I know, but I know.
It's okay. I was polite enough not to actually ask what a Discman was because I can kind of guess. So
I mean, like contextually, I mean, like you should be able to piece that together.
Yeah, it's like a Walkman, probably. It's a music listening device that you
it
would probably
is,
put
it
a CD in or something. I don't know.
Exactly. It's a Walkman that was for CDs. Discman.
What did Walkmans use if it wasn't? Did they use like cassettes?
Yeah, like cassettes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fascinating. See, I'm learning the history of music devices.
Yeah. And yeah, because I was of the age when those things are around. Yeah. So like next thing we have, I feel old. You and I both, Jay. You and I both. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's an unintentional pastime of mine. What can I say?
What, making people feel old? Wow.
Look, I can't help it, okay? It's not my fault if I end up mentioning the year I was born and then people are like, I was in high school then. I'm sad. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Sin, hello. Welcome on in. Welcome. Well, next we have here is like on the other side of things. Because we've talked a little bit about queerness now, right? And on the other side is like, what neurodivergencies are you gifted with?
So, I am diagnosed with ADHD, and I am fairly certain that I am autistic, but I don't have an official diagnosis for that yet. I know that there's like varying opinions on self-diagnosis. I'm personally like in support of like whatever helps you, and so after like looking into autism, I've gone, wow, this looks a lot like me, and all of these coping strategies like really help me. So aside from that, which like this is a whole thing I won't even get into on this podcast, but I am, and this is like kind of another piece of it. I don't like this term, but unfortunately like it's the only way to explain it. I'm profoundly gifted. I don't like the term gifted, but it's the easiest way to explain the fact that my brain does too much things. But mainly ADHD.
Okay.
And autism.
Yeah, no, like, well, the reason why I had said, like, I phrased it specifically, like, what are, like, neurodivergencies are you gifted with? Because, like, I mean, it can be, like, a hindrance, in cases, you know, but also, to sort of focus on, like, more the idea that it's not necessarily, always a hindrance, you know?
Oh yeah.
That you know, because there's a friend of mine that I have, and he like will often tell me like and often say that like ADD is a superpower, like, you know, like having you know, neurodivergencies like are superpowers, and that they can be used and like celebrated and like seen the more positive lights of things, as opposed to just like, you know, just focusing on the negative aspect of it. And hello, Meowmies. Hello. Welcome in. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be like seen as like a hindrance, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. There's sort of like the specific term like
Gifted that kind of like encompasses like another aspect of neurodivergency that's like commonly tied to IQ, but also like more like has like things like intensities, like different ways of experiencing the world. Intensities are kind of hard to explain, but like there's a lot of overlap with other neurodivergencies, with like, you know, intellectual intensity and sensory intensity, where then like, you know,
Right.
certain sensory stimuli are awesome and others are extremely overwhelming. So I have personal beef with the term gifted, but it's like a whole thing I'm not gonna get into.
But I think when it comes to like neurodivergency as a whole, like I think that it can be difficult and that it can feel like a hindrance because of the world that we live in, but there is
Right.
nothing wrong with being neurodivergent in and of itself, and there are some really beautiful things about it.
Right, exactly. And like because I was diagnosed with ADD growing up, and I feel like it has a bit of a like a misnomer, or like the sort of wrong idea that it's not like an inability to concentrate, because like when it is something that is like very like passionate for myself in particular, like I like hyper focus comes into play, right? And that could be like a real asset in terms of like what you want to do, because like if like you're able to sort of hyper focus and really delve into things that you're passionate about, like I see that as a very like powerful tool, technically, you know, if like harnessed correctly, and putting energy in towards like things that you are passionate about, it can make things very like advantageous for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And like basically now sort of like what I wanted to get into is hello is like, how is being like queer and neurodivergent like shaped your life? Because like I don't know if it's often talked about that there is like that overlap of these two aspects, you know, in our lives, and like how do you feel like those together have sort of shaped you to where you're at now?
Yeah. So I think it's in a couple of different ways. So I think that like one of the main ways would be like one thing that I notice in like my everyday life is that being queer is something that I've become passionate about, like partly because of that community aspect. Like, you know, I think part of the reason it's so important to me is like when being queer started being really meaningful to me was when it became about like community, when I met other people and I was like, oh, like they feel the same way that I do.
Right.
And so in that sense, like the kind of like hyper focus, hyper fixation, like almost like dual blessing is
Right.
very real. But I think one thing that's really interesting is also where like gender comes into play. And for me, like I know that there are some people who are neurodivergent who don't experience a strong connection with gender at all. For me, it's more like it varies. Like I kind of just get like a roulette wheel every day.
Yeah.
It's why my pronouns change, which I used to not really like talk about because I know people found it inconvenient. But nowadays I'm just kind of like, if you care to put in the effort, like it does change, because I'll have days where I wake up and I feel fantastic in my body, and I'll have days where I wake up and I'm like, you know, what the fuck is this? For like, excuse me, this is not what I ordered. Hello, God, I'd like a refund. Hello.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that like there are a lot of times though where I do feel like some amount of like gender apathy, but not an entire disconnect from gender. And I don't know, like I'd be curious to see like how other neurodivergent people feel about it. I like as to whether like it's like more of a like complete disconnect from gender, or like gender is there, I just don't care to figure it out because it's difficult to solve. Like for me sometimes, unless I have like honestly like dysphoria are the biggest clues that I use to figure out what's going on with the gender that day.
Right.
But
Right.
sometimes if that doesn't come up, I'm just like, I don't know, it exists over there. I'm just not gonna deal with that social construct right now. Like I have a pronouns redeem, and half the time I should really just change it, because half the time people use it like I'm like, I don't know what my pronouns are. Like any, I guess I haven't figured it out today.
And that's valid. That's totally valid.
Yeah. So I don't like I don't know if you've heard of what I'm talking about, where like a lot of times neurodivergent folks like don't experience a strong connection. Like I don't know if like that is something that you resonate with at all or not so much.
Well, the thing is, like I've always found like a disconnect with like my gender, like from very early on. Like, you know, from when I was a little child, you know, like it's something that I've always like questioned and put a lot of thought into, you know, and the idea of like there being a correlation between the two is something why I wanted to sort of include this question in the list is because of this. It's just like, I think it's a fascinating thing, and I wanted to see sort of how people experienced like the involvement between their like neurodivergency and like being queer, and like it doesn't always necessarily land on the fact that like people like question their gender, but I know I've spent many days like just sort of like contemplating my own contemplating my own existence, you know, like
relatable.
Yeah, like also, you know, like the idea of what, like, you know, what gender means, you know, and just constantly in a state of like introspection, you know, trying to figure myself out. And you know,
I feel that.
Thanks to ADD, that ends up like becoming like a sort of cacophony of like thoughts and ideas that just sort of float around, and you know, it does give me a chance to sort of like explore a lot of different ideas, though, which is very interesting. I find.
Oh yeah. I don't know, like I guess for me, like gender, like personally, is often more of a feeling than anything else, and I feel like I'm just constantly trying to chase that feeling with like words and this was something actually that I honestly just have not thought about a lot before, but I will say one other like piece is speaking of like chasing gender, even though it's a feeling for me with like words and like labels and stuff like that, because I think that a lot of people like a lot of people kind of reject labels and don't necessarily want to associate with specific labels, which is entirely
Right.
valid. Like
Right.
that is like labels are an entirely like whatever feels right for that person. But for me, labels brought me so much comfort, and I think that's because there's part of my brain that feels like I need to understand and categorize. Like and this might be also just like OCD, which isn't direct like really neurodivergency as much, but like I think that regardless, there's a piece of my brain that like feels the need to like categorize and sort things in my mind because
Right.
I need to do that to understand them. And so I had the same feelings about myself. I was like, well, I need a word. I need a word for myself because I like don't know how to cope with just an amorphous feeling, like and literally like not even just a feeling, but like a whatever that is,
Right.
whatever that thing is over there that I am. I need to figure out how to describe it. So for me, like labels were something that was extremely comforting to find. Honestly, like not even so much to describe myself to other people, so much as like to figure out how I could start talking to myself about it and like understanding it, because I needed language for it.
Okay, yeah. That's and I like that. I like that, just sort of for your own like internal monologue. Hi,
Yeah,
Sean.
absolutely.
Hello. The like something that I've said very often is that like we don't owe gender to anybody. We don't owe like gender. We don't owe sexuality. We don't owe like anything of that sort to anybody. And if you wanted to choose labels in order to sort of like appease yourself, that is like so valid. But it's never necessary to for the sake of others. You know, and like gender presentation, all of that. Like you don't owe a thing to anybody. You know, you just kind of just do you and live by you, and whatever makes you comfortable, whatever you feel happy with, whatever you're safe to express, because I think that's like a huge component there as well. Is you know, having the safety and the means to express those aspects as well. It's very important, but it is like merely for yourself in the end of things.
Oh yeah, no, I think so. I think it's just like, you know, it's at the end of the day been something that helps that part of my brain. Like, I don't know how to explain it even. I guess that like before I had a word for it, like there was a vague uneasiness that had nothing to do with the thing itself, but for the fact that I didn't know where to like put it in my brain. I didn't know what to do with it. Like it kind of just like sat there, and I'm like, well shit, what now? Like do I have a box for this? Let's see. Where do I put this? What am I doing? So I do think that one thing that can be hard is, I know that a lot of neurodivergent folks I know, and I have this too, like it's very hard to like break rules. Like there's like there feels like a need to like follow rules, and I actually think that's one of the things that sometimes can be really difficult, because a lot of times like being queer and being totally yourself requires you to break so many of like the rules, in air quotes, norms, that like, you know, spoken or unspoken, that's like norms that feel like rules that like society has set. So I don't know, I think that's something interesting too.
I think like that's never been like a particular like issue for me in terms of like trying to like follow these like norms, you know, like I mean it okay, well no, that's not true. Like at first it has. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Panini creature, welcome in.
Panini, hi, Panini.
Welcome in.
Hi.
Like definitely for like a good majority of my life. Hi sandwich. Yeah, for a good portion of my life it was difficult to sort of break free to that in terms of like gender or whatever, but like there's always been this like sense of like if it's something that I want and need, like there's like an inherent kind of like itch of like I have to do this, I have to like push past this because like there's something that doesn't like quite feel right by just like sitting on this, like, you know, this feels wrong. I need to push back. I need to and that came from sort of like my childhood, and it like it was sort of like read as like defiancy, you know, growing up, because like it was like, oh, what the hell, you know, like why are they acting like this, why are they being like this, you know, and like, but like it was just like a way of like self-preservation, and I think there's sort of like a like thing that some of us are brought up with is like, you know, this attitude of like the rhetoric of like, well, you know, we're your parents, you know,
Yeah.
like you have to listen to us, you know, because we're your parents, and you have to listen to it because this is we know what's best for you, you know. But there was always something in the back of my mind was like, you know, wait, that sounds a little bullshit. That this sounds a little sus, you know. Why am I having to like, you know, like I get that you're my parents, like, but why what the hell does that mean, you know? Like there was always that sort of like that need to question things for me, you know, and so like, and just always wanting to sort of think and want sort of it's like different, you know, when things didn't quite settle right in my mind, you know, the need to question is strong. Yeah, absolutely. And I would get in a lot of shit growing up too, like oh, well, you know, why is she being so defiant, why is she being so stubborn? I was like, no, it's just my way of self-preservation.
Absolutely.
And it's that sort of itch that made me sort of scratch and like want to like figure out like myself as well, and sort of like
And I
look
kind of
things,
relate to that too.
yeah, not want to take things as just like face value, just for like, like a blind reasoning of like, oh well, you have to accept this, you know, like.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Like I feel like for me, like
Hi,
once
Mom.
I
Start something, or once I start like looking into something, like I can't leave stones unturned. Like once I started realizing it. No, at the same time, the power of denial is strong. Like, you know, I mean, when I started realizing gender stuff, I started binding, but like I was Googling like, can cis women bind? Like I was still so completely in denial that I was like, okay, like cis people can bind, cis women can bind, and that's not true, but
this,
you know, like
that's
you look back on
internalized
some of those moments and you're like, yeah. So, you know, and then so I just I think like, you know, I honestly like I think in the back of my mind I was probably like, oh shit, like if this is a thing, it's gonna be a thing. And lo and behold, I woke up one day and in like the worst dysphoria I've experienced pretty much ever before or since, and that was history. Let's just say.
Wow, yeah.
Figured shit out pretty quick.
A pronoun check. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. Do you feel
I
one
use
way
any
or another?
pronouns.
Do
No,
you feel-
any pronouns are good today, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I kind of,
Valid.
like when someone asks me, I usually mentally cycle through like she. How does she feel? And I don't know. Feels okay. They, he, and I don't know. I don't get any particular weird
Tingles, bad tingles from any of them. So
Anyway.
That's really valid. That's very valid. Weird tingles, yeah. As opposed to the good tingles, of course.
yeah.
like the turtle from Over the Hedge, like the one that gets like the tingle in his tail. I don't have a tingle in my tail, so any pronouns work.
Peter Tingles, hello. They, them. Yeah, feel free, everybody, if you want to like share your pronouns if you feel comfortable. Panini uses they, them. It's a Spider-Man. It's a Spider-Man thing. Okay. Oh right. Yeah. Oh okay. My brain just clued in. Just what? Okay. I get you. As I know that we've kind of
it's
like
a spidey sense.
yeah, exactly. Those models are so cute. Thank you. Thank you. This one is one of my newer, well, it's my newest purchased model. It's by a artist named Cheese. It's like their second iteration of Park. It's the name of the avatar. Park V2. It's very cool. I like this one.
genuinely do not know the artist for this one off the top of my head, but if anyone is curious, I could try and figure it out at the end.
It's very gender.
I should remember, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm like blanking.
Oh, you're fine. I prefer they, them, but it doesn't work in German. So any are fine for me. Okay. Well, I mean, if you prefer they, them, then we can absolutely use that. That's completely valid. And if anyone is interested, I mean, I can see them here up on my chat. But if you go ! pronouns, there is like an extension that you can use, and it's with like Chrome or Firefox. And if you want to use like to put in your pronouns there, it even has like a whole bunch of neo pronouns as well, and it'll show up in chat afterwards. Thank you, Ale. Thank you. The extension is something you have to install separately, but this website will lead you directly to like you can set your pronouns, and then there's a link there to get the extension as well. Yeah, so we touched on this a little bit before, about like communities and stuff like that in terms of you know, helping us or being part of like what is queerness. But like, so the question I have here is what experiences and like / communities have you found to help that have like shaped you as you are, like if you need me to elaborate.
So,
Yeah, no, I think I get what you're going for there.
I mean, I'll take a stab, and if you
Want different answers, you could tell me.
Yeah.
So I think probably like, especially when it comes to like, well, I guess so thinking about like queerness and neurodivergence, like
there was this camp growing up that I went to that, like, looking back, was probably more formative than I realized.
and it, like, looking back, it had its own issues. It was definitely not perfect, but looking back, it was honestly like a real safe haven. Like, we got to go up to like this YMCA camp for like a week and do like, I mean, we did like typical camp stuff. We did other interesting stuff, like we did like meditation and visualizations and all this kind of crap.
And some things that looking back were appropriation, which those
Yikes.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a mixed bag. I mean, I can't necessarily speak on behalf of any of like the like BIPOC or particularly like Native kids that attended. So I'm not my place to speak about that. But looking back, some questionable parts. But I mean, at the end of the day, like a lot of us would just hang out in the cabins, and I feel like it was definitely a space where it was very free to be us. But in terms of gender, like the big one is, and it's like a big part of the reason I identify as trans, because not all like non-binary or gender fluid people do. But when I was figuring this out, I joined a therapy support group
where I was going to college at my university, and so like every week I would go sit in a video call.
If you want to say hi to someone, no worries.
Oh yes, yes. Sorry, there's just a raid coming in.
Oh yeah, no. Say hi to the raid. Hi, raiders.
Hello. Welcome in, raiders. Thank you so much for the
Hi,
raid.
hi.
Oh my goodness. Welcome in. Marichi, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Hello. I really appreciate it. Gremlin raid, hide your kneecaps. Oh my goodness.
Wait, Miri! I was like, wait, Mirichi? Miri! Hi!
Not
Hi,
the
hi, hi,
kneecaps. Not the kneecaps. Oh my goodness. Welcome in.
You
welcome
can have my
in.
kneecaps if I can steal your
Pronouns.
Hey yo, okay. I want those kneecaps. I'm small. Oh my god. Listen. I need my kneecaps. Okay, I need them. I need them. Hi Lynn. Hello. But yeah, how was your stream? Thank you so much for the raid, y'all coming in from Miri's stream. If y'all don't already know me, my name's Mika Bunny. You can call me Mika. You can call me Bunny. My pronouns are she, her, or they, and them. I am a variety caster. We play some games sometimes. Sometimes we do some VR chat. Today we are having our first ever episode of my brand new podcast called Life as a Queerodivergent. And we're here with the lovely Voxelotl VT. We are just going through some questions about what it is, what's life like for a person who is both queer and neurodivergent. And so we're just kind of going through some very, both lighthearted and more deep conversations as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think of where I was. Okay, college support group.
Yeah.
So I started going to these weekly video calls, and we, would take turns. Not everyone would talk. Some people would really just come to vibe and support and just spend time with other trans people. And it was one of my favorite things ever. And looking back, I didn't even realize how important this was. And I think when I first started going, I thought this was cheesy. And looking back, no, it was incredibly fucking important, because at the end of every meeting, we would do a hands-in thing. So we'd all put our hands in towards the video cam, and then we would shake them like this, and then we would do like the hands up thing, like like you used to do if you played like soccer or something, like a little huddle. And then we would go, "You are trans enough." We would always say, "You are we are all trans enough" at the end of every session. And looking back, that was affirming as fuck, and honestly probably really important.
I love
I haven't
that.
realized.
Yeah.
Fucking shout out to the best hosts of that, by the way, ever. I won't name either of them, but fucking massive love from me to them. Hope they're doing well. But it was honestly so meaningful getting to just spend time just in a space of trans people for the first time. And I think you could looking back, there was just, when everyone entered from wherever they were coming from, you could just tell that there was this collective a collective exhale,
Yeah.
of relief, like when we all came, because we could just like chill we could just let go of all of this
I love
shit,
that.
all of this fucking armor, all of this shit that we had to hold up to hide behind, and just be like, this is what's up, and just for 1 hour a week, just fucking be ourselves.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
And there's communities that I've been in that haven't been as accepting, and I can talk about those, but
they're honestly like some of them are probably fairly obvious. Like some video game communities are more or less accepting. League is a very strangely mixed bag. There's like a corner of League that's very like queer and accepting, but broadly it's League of Legends. I don't need to get into it. And you know, like when I've been in, truthfully, just predominantly cishet, especially like cishet white male spaces, which I've spent some time in, like, you know, pretty much after coming out as gender fluid, I lost probably half, and didn't directly necessarily like lose, but lost. Like I didn't end up having like a huge fight with anyone, or you know, them, you know, just spewing bigotry at me, but you know, it's sometimes you tell someone something about yourself that you know, maybe you or they hadn't realized yet, that you hadn't known yet, and they go, well, I don't really understand or like support that, but I guess I'll try. And you know, then you fucking drift away, because that's how it goes, because you're gonna be friends with people who see you for you and love you for you, and don't have to try and look past or over or under anything to try and like create a narrative that's not there. Anyway, tangent.
Right.
But VTubing, streaming, and VTubing in particular has been absolutely amazing. Like at least, you know, I have been able to find, like I've heard, you know, like different experiences across the board, but like for me, like I have found like lifelong incredibly close friends through VTubing, and the people that I feel probably like some of the most close with and comfortable with in the entire world. And a lot of those folks that I feel super close and comfortable with are queerodivergent people.
Yeah.
Because
That's awesome.
because we can just have that where we, you know, we hop on call or we hang out and we just let all of that shit that we normally have to hold up, just throw it out the window, and then be ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I love that. I honestly like I tried to be the embodiment of that philosophy, of that idea of you know, that you can just come and just be around me, and like, this is what I want. This I try very hard to have this space to be as well, of that you can just come and be yourself, and just, you know, just like have that exhale of tension and expectation, and just come in and just be yourself, and not have to worry about like judgment of just being yourself, of just, you know, just existing, which is in and of itself like a very challenging thing sometimes.
Oh yeah, existence is fucking brutal.
Yeah. But like hearing the fact that like you had that space of like where like you can go into that support group, and like them celebrating and really sort of like cementing the fact that like we are like you are trans enough, like you know, that's such a beautiful moment. I really love that. It's such a touching story, and having that space, I could see it being like really amazing, and like just special and important for your development. And that's really cool. I'm really
honestly,
really happy
it
for
was. Looking back, it was more so than I ever realized at the time. Like, you know, I haven't reflected on it a little while, and then, you know, I started talking about it just now, and I was like, oh my god, like honestly, even though like I kind of almost like credit that group with like me choosing to identify as trans and like being part of the trans community, because I was like, oh, like these people feel the way I do. Like these people understand me and they see me for who I am, and their like love for me, you know, like not in any weird way, but you know, like I became very close friends with some of the people at the time that I was in the support group with, and it was very meaningful to have people in my life whose love for me did not change in any way whatsoever based on my gender, based on my pronouns, because this is my personal experience, but I think it's, so I don't know, maybe hard truth, maybe just my experience. I don't think I've almost ever experienced that from cis people. Even if a lot of cis people are extremely accepting, most cis people in my life that, like, for example, knew me before I came out as like gender fluid, like before and after, like it affected their feelings towards me, and that's not necessarily like their fault. Like a lot of them probably had to work through, you know, internalized transphobia and kind of work through their own shit basically. But you can tell when your relationship with a person changes at some fundamental level. And there were a lot of changes, and it's not per se that I felt less loved, but like I don't know how to explain. It was different, and sometimes honestly, yeah, I felt less loved, and I don't know, like I could come in and I could change my name and I could change my pronouns on any fucking week. I came in with the wackadoodle list of names. I came in with sometimes like all kinds of different pronouns, and literally no one gave a fucking shit. No one, like in a good way, like literally everyone was just like, all right, yo, what's up what's up Boots, what's up Buttons, how's it going this week, like how you doing?
Boots and Buttons, I love that.
Those were on my list of potential names, but I didn't end up picking them.
I love that. This hits home for real. Aw, I'm glad. Yeah, like personally for me, like the world of like VTubing and streaming in general has been such a like huge impact on my life, and you know the direction that I've gone in, and you know I only sort of like fell into VTubing a little bit later into my journey. Like it started off just like trying to find Boots just finding like queer spaces that I felt belonging to, you know, that I felt like attached to. There's two big communities, not big, but like the two communities that have had a big impact on the fact that I'm streaming now and wanting to have my own community. And I know I've like talked about these on your podcast, but namely Two Gays One Twitch, and and what they go by now, Oh Ashley Darling. Two like amazing communities, fantastic people. Two Gays One Twitch is JM and their husband Chris, who aren't streaming as regularly, but often would stream together and have like separate times on the channel as well. And like being part of their community was like a huge impact in wanting my own such community. And Ashley, who is like very like body positive, queer, like very warm space that, you know, I've been lucky enough to be part of for some time. And it was these communities that I was like, damn, like this is such a wonderful feeling. I love being part of this community. I want something like this of my own. And like I want to be able to find like and like create my own community, because, you know, as much as I felt part of that, like I really wanted something that I really truly felt part of, you know, and creating that space for myself was definitely like fundamental for me, you know. And then falling into like VTubing as a result, eventually, you know, like it just sort of changed everything after.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, and you know, finding like other like-minded queer folks, and then eventually falling into VR chats, and then that's when really things like started kicking off even more, and finding like individuals, and having experiences that are like quite like just literally life-changing, you know. And
Yeah, no, absolutely.
yeah, and you mentioned this sort of like sort of like different experience that one would have, like, or how you interpret interactions with like cis het individuals, you know, and that sort of connection between like you and them, and like although positive, you know, the idea of the fact that like, you know, they just simply have not gone down the same paths that we have, to sort of get to hear and like sort of question certain things, to get to where we are, you know. And where am I going with this is the fact that like myself personally, I have not felt like more valid than when I am with like other trans folks and other like neurodivergent folks, and like and that this conjunction, which is all this whole thing is about, is the queerodivergent, and then in that sense that you can sort of just and this is where we're coming full circle, you know, like is that you can finally feel that you can exhale and you can kind of just let go and be like, this is me, this is myself, like I no longer have to mask.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like bringing in that term as well, like to bring in the neurodivergent piece, masking as well, because that's what that is. Like I realized I described unmasking without calling it unmasking.
Yeah.
So you're entirely right. It's very much unmasking.
In multiple senses, honestly.
Yeah, well, for sure, you know. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting carrying that mask around, you know. Welcome back.
Yeah.
And just having to sort of always put that face on, to always like sort of like try to be like what others like expect you to be, or you know. But why this podcast exists is like to show people that you can celebrate these things, that you don't have to like hold these things in and worry that like, hey, like what if I'm gonna be judged based on these things, you know. No, it's validate on my queer divergency till I unmask.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So like to sort of segue now from this point, which is actually really good. Hi Harley, hello, welcome in. Is like, what does queer joy look like for you? Because this is
I think for me.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna do it.
Go.
just because queer joy is something that I fucking love. It's something I also like talking about on my podcast a lot because I think it's super important. And like, I think for me, it just means like a combination of. I think freedom is the main piece. I think that like bravery in a positive sense is a piece of it as well, because I feel like sometimes in order to be like truly joyfully like here and queer, like we have to be brave because it's scary sometimes. And you know, obviously, like, you know, safety is first and foremost, but like not even just like in a situation where there's direct safety concerns, but just in general, I think sometimes it requires bravery to like, maybe this is gonna sound really edgy, but like not have your first thought be like, I'm afraid of getting hurt,
If that makes any sense, at all. But like, fucking freedom, like, you know, like sometimes like there's like stuff like gender euphoria that plays like a piece in it, but like I feel like it's so much more than that, and it's just like the pure like delight of being able to be who you are, and that's in different ways, like with friends, like, you know, I've experienced queer joy in public. Seeing myself represented in media is a huge piece of queer joy as well. It's why I think queer joy is really important in media, and like queer joy is a huge piece of why representation is important, so that like, you know, like queer kids that are growing up, and yes, there are queer kids. No one made them queer. They were born that way, and they're always going to be that way. Just a side piece, just because I feel obligated to say that.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's so important for like not only queer kids but queer adults to be able to watch a movie or a TV show or play. Fuck, I slammed my mic. Good, I didn't knock it over. We're good. Let me not gesture violently at my mic. But to be able to point at a movie or TV show and say that's me. That's me right there. That's me on that screen.
Yeah.
Look, I'm this protagonist. I'm this person. I'm this character. So, that's what I think of when I think of like queer joy and what it means to me.
I love that. Yeah, because this is something I really wanted to highlight, was that, you know, in all of these things, like, it is so important to appreciate the joy of what it means to be queer, you know, and neurodivergent, of course, but just and finding ways to sort of appreciate and celebrate that is just so important, you know, and something I say, like, I mean, very frequently. Oh no! Here's my ADD, and I just like brain farted. Yes, okay. When it is all said and done, this whole journey that we're on, in terms of being queer, is literally just like a pursuit of happiness, like beyond
yes.
all else.
Yes.
Beyond all else, it doesn't even like setting aside what it is, like, you just, the fundamentals is just trying to be happy, you know, and I feel like more people should understand that, or you know, like, feel that, because it's really just us trying to be happy, you know. We're just trying to like be who we feel we are, love who we want to love, you know, be with who we want to be with or not, you know, and just fucking be happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the reason why, like,
you know, if you like know my channel or like go look at my channel,
like, all my shit is plastered in rainbows. Like, you open my stream, like, I'm a rainbow axolotl VTuber. Rainbows on the overlay, rainbows on my gills, rainbows here, rainbows there, rainbows everywhere. Not only because, well, rainbows are pretty, by the way, like, I fucking love rainbows, but because, like, being queer, being gay, being who I am, makes me happy. So genuinely happy. It's fucking awesome. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world. I love it. Like, it literally, like, sometimes when I feel it, like, it feels like this, like, spiral of joy that, like, starts in my stomach and then, like, goes like this and, like, spirals up in me and then it just explodes out. Like, not even in a weird way, just like, I'm happy. I'm happy to be me. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be who I am. And that person is rainbow. Fucking like it or not. That person is made of rainbows. Through and through.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that. It's just that pure, unadulterated, just like happiness and joy that's derived from being that, from being queer, and like that's something that like I'm so fucking happy and proud to be trans. Like, it's holding on to that. Like, it's not my entire identity, by no means, but like it is such a huge like part of me and shaping me to who I am today, you know, like revolves around that. And it's something that it's okay to celebrate it. Like, we should give ourselves permission to celebrate it, because these are good things. These are positive things, you know. Being queer is a good thing. Being neurodivergent is a good thing. Like, it's not necessarily an easy thing, but these are not inherent. Like, it's just, these are things that should be celebrated, I should say, as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more time that we can sit down and talk about and celebrate these like differences, and like, you know, this brings me joy. Like, this brings me queer joy. This like having these discussions, having these moments where we can really like celebrate ourselves and be like, you know what, I am fucking awesome.
I agree.
You know, and if you have the spoons to do so, like, I want y'all to just like take a moment to think about your divergencies and just tell yourself out loud, yes, I am fucking awesome. Like, take that moment, because like each and every one of you, if you have like made it this far, I am fucking proud of you, and you are awesome. Like, and we should all celebrate that. Because
no, 100% agree.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the thing. Like when I really think about it, like pretty much all of my like quote unquote like not even like negative experiences with like being queer, being trans, being neurodivergent, but like where it feels like a difficulty, where it almost feels like where it, you know, like a bad thing, I'm gonna say that in quotes, it is not because of that thing, but because we live in a world that has norms that are not built for that. Like the quote unquote problem is not the way that you are or I am or we are. The problem is just that we are currently living in a world that is not, hopefully yet, but is not built for us right now. And so like that's where like I feel like the difficulty, or where it like feeling like a hindrance comes in. But when I don't have to like bump up against the places where like it kind of, you know, butts heads with the world, like, you know, like then it's something that makes me happy. Like lately I've been trying to actually, this is topical, I forgot about this, like I've been trying to unmask lately more on stream, for example, and so randomly I think it's my clip with the most views now, and I don't know why, but like, you know, I've been doing like a vocal stim lately sometimes, and it's like I always worry that people think it's like a sexual thing or like a purring or something like that, but literally I just like the feeling of it because it vibrates my vocal cords like wow 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 wow. It's like that anyway, and it just makes me happy. That's it.
There is a content creator that I watch on it's such a good noise. Yeah, it is. There's a content creator that I watch on Instagram particularly. He is like a autistic gay person and like often makes that exact sort of vocal stim, and I mean, definitely just like if those things feel good, if those things like feel right to you, you know, like for me, like when I'm feeling like really happy or really like excited or comfortable, you know, and like I just that right itch just scratches like wah, and just like I get like that sort of that need to be like oh my god wah, and it's sort of just like that letting go and unmasking and just being like no, it's okay to make these sounds, it's okay to do these things because like it's just this letting them out feels like so much better than holding them back in, you know. And for someone on that note, I have Tourette's. Like technically I was diagnosed with Tourette's traits because like the by definition of Tourette's is that of having like vocal twitches. But myself, I don't have really vocal twitches. It's they manifest in the physical. But that being said, like holding them back, and trying to like prevent them and to not show is like difficult and like exhausting.
Yeah.
So same thing with like vocal stems and stuff like that. Like it could be exhausting. It could be daunting on yourself, you know, to sort of try to mask those things. And like just these are things that are part of us. It's not like our choice. It's not our fault. They are just a valid part of us, and should be seen as such, you know. And being able to sort of let that go and actually like celebrate that, yeah. Because like I think more and more these days, like vocal stems have become like way more commonplace, more like, I hate to say this, but like socially acceptable, but like it is what it is, I guess. Hi Devil, hello. Yeah, so like it's really great when you can just sort of like let that go and not have to hold those feelings back and like to mask ourselves just for the sake of others, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so like to segue from that, like what would you say are like the most positive most positive aspects, most positive things that have happened to you through being neurodivergent?
Through being neurodivergent, I think I would say like figuring out how to take good care of myself, like learning about, like, for example, like realizing, like, you know, okay, like basically what I'm having is like an autistic meltdown, and if I just go in a room and turn all the lights off and make sure it's quiet and just lay there for like, you know, however much time I need, like
shit's totally fine.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a coping strategies piece around identification, but honestly, my single biggest answer is the friends, like the connections that I've made. Like I fucking love everyone that like is my like I fucking love all my friends, right?
Yeah.
But like when I get to hang out with my like neurodivergent friends and especially my queerodivergent friends, like where I can sort of like almost let go of these two separate pieces of basking at the same time.
They have given 10 gift subs in the channel.
It's great. I don't know how to explain it other than I would say just like the friendship. I think, you know, there's also a piece of it that's like I think it's cool being me and in a sense being able to like do anything I want. Like, you know, I love being able to when I think about like neurodivergency in relation to myself and not like friends is probably still my first answer, but like, you know, I like don't know if some people like appreciate some textures the way that I do. There are literally some things that like I can touch, like blankets, that feel like the best fucking thing in the entire world. There are sounds that I like love. So there's like, you know, like I really like that I can have like a sensory appreciation for the world, you know, again when it's good. Sometimes it's like but to be positive, a lot of the time it's good when I can choose what like sensory stimuli are.
Right.
And having like the intellectual and emotional passions that I do, you know, like going down the rabbit holes that I've gone down and even just pursuing a bunch of different things as a part of it. Like I've done everything from cadaver prosection, which for those of you who are not familiar, it's basically dissecting dead bodies. I've done everything from that to like game design to like history to biology to leadership in my like education. And I like, if truthfully at the end of the day, like if I put my mind to it, like I can learn almost anything, and that's pretty cool, honestly. Like,
that is really
you know?
cool. I love that. Thank you so much, by the way, for the gifted sub. 2 men to Magical Girl Mina. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hi, 2 men. Good to see you.
Yeah, I really think that's great. Just like the fact that you're able to sort of like use that advantageously and just be like, well, you know, like I these things bring me passion, so why not like put myself in those situations and sort of learn and grow. Being able to have that ability to focus on the things that are you're most passionate about, that definitely sparks joy for sure. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. Yeah. It's very important, I find, to sort of focus on the wins and accomplishments that you know neurodivergency has brought for you, as opposed to just like always focusing on like it as like a hindrance, which like you're saying, like for instance, like stimuli. For me, like that's definitely a big one, you know. And I am like autistic as well, and for like things like stimuli are like a really huge thing for me. And like, you know, the idea of like, you know, certain stimuli that can be like basically like nails on a chalkboard, and it's just like just that screaming, just you can't even like bear it. But you know, then there are things that like really just like soothe you, and I've been really into ASMR these days, and listening to a lot of different ASMR channels that have like really like sparked a lot of joy for me, you know, like and during my like my work weeks and stuff like that, and just having it on in the background, being able to just sort of listen to, and keeping my brain in like a warm, sort of malleable state.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that it is free to, like, you know, let in more content, you know, because sometimes sometimes, you know, like just even that sort of hindrance, that little block of anything, of like overstimulus, could just like set you back, and make it just so difficult to even like perform the most like mundane of tasks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like being aware of like what really scratches that itch, and gets those muscles moving, you know, is so great, you know, and harnessing that as like a superpower, I think is really, really cool, and can be really, really advantageous. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
I personally, my poison of choice is music. I tend to grind the same, like,
when a certain melody like just pings my brain in the right way, I tend to just absolutely grind it into dust. Like, I played Undertale for the first time this year, and I'm pretty sure Metal Crusher has not left my like Spotify on repeat for the entire year since playing it. It has literally been in my top 20 songs for like the last fucking 6 months or something like that.
I still have to finish that.
You know?
I still have to finish that. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Music is definitely like a really, really powerful thing, and like if you can just for me it's something that I've always enjoyed growing up, you know, from just like listening to music to like picking up music myself as well, and like playing instruments and stuff like that, and making my own music, you know, and just sort of like producing and whatnot, and, you know, like, shameless plug, but I do have music up on Spotify and YouTube and all that fun shit. Yeah, so like I make music from time to time, and when I've like been able to like sit down and just like put my focus on, like, I can see how much passion and how much like just hyper focus I get into like making it, and I'm like, oh yes, this is like scratches all the itches, you know, like just. It's so good, you know, tickles all the right parts of the brain, and it's just so nice to be able to like to harness that, and be like, yes, this is what works for me, you know, this is what's good, it feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, like, to sort of wrap this all like into one like neat little nice package of basically what does it mean to you to be queerodivergent?
I think I would say through like, you know, talking today and kind of like, you know, like almost like breaking down the different parts of the term and then putting them together. Like, it just means to be you, to be who the fuck you are, and without a need to conform to like societal norms, what society expects you to be. Like, obviously, as always, safety first, but to, you know, hopefully be able to find spaces, or even just when you're spending time with yourself, like unmask and be unapologetically trans, be unapologetically queer, be unapologetically neurodivergent, be queerodivergent, be exactly who you are, and to take joy in that. So and it's the shitty thing is that the world wasn't like for queerodivergence, including, you know, us, the world is just not fucking built for you, and that blows. Like, there's gonna be some really difficult shit, because because if you just have like navigating a world that is not built for you is difficult. It's full of things that are too loud, and sometimes you get hurt. But we just have to be as brave as we can and try to be brave enough to just especially like when we find people that we can be brave to be ourselves and be happy.
That hit me right in the feels.
Oh.
That's really well said. That's really well said.
Oh, thank you.
That's I couldn't have said it better myself, honestly. Just being you, that's just unapologetically you, unequivocally you, like, and just trying to be brave enough to explore that and to celebrate that. That's kind of why I like to use the term brave space as opposed to like safe space, because we can't guarantee safety out there, but we can do our best to be brave.
Mm-hmm.
And do what we can to put our best foot forward, and to just try our best.
Yeah, absolutely. Because unfortunately, sometimes the world just is gonna knock us down. It's knocked me down. It's knocked you down. It's probably knocked other people down.
Oh, for sure.
But we just gotta get up, and we can lay down sometimes if you need to, and fucking lay on the fucking floor face down. That time is valid too, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it through some of the difficult things, there's I heard about this thing recently that I really like. Have you heard of glimmers?
Glimmers. Is that like?
So
Go on.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm trying to remember the word that it's the opposite of, but glimmers are the opposite of something that is like. I'm trying to think of what it is.
Like
it's not like
the
it's
opposite
not. I know
of
it's not
dysphoria,
triggers.
right?
Yeah, kind of like it's like the opposite of like little things
Of
that
triggers,
are like wear you down. Like it's kind of like the opposite. I feel like there's a word and I can't think of it. I'll think of it later, of course, but glimmers are like the little things that make you happy. Like when you find a sound and you're like, I love that sound. Like, look at this cute animal. I'm seriously gonna knock my mic over. I gotta move my hand. So I think we just have to be as brave as we can, even though it's hard. But it's so fucking worth it. Like, even if it doesn't feel like it right now, it will be worth it, because there are so many glimmers ahead of you in your life that you can't even fucking imagine. So we just gotta find our glimmers and find the people who love us for who we are.
I love that. And it gets better. It always does. Like, as tough as things can seem in the moment, and there will always be better times. There will always be better things, and hanging on to those little moments of like these little glimmers, I think is like more like important, more now than ever before. Is like as daunting and as difficult as like life can seem, is like taking those moments and being like mindful.
Yeah.
And
mindfulness is good too.
Oh yeah, and just taking those moments of like, you know, when a glimmer comes by and just seize it, just like take that moment. Don't be afraid to just be like, that was amazing, that was lovely, that filled my heart, you know, that gave me a few spoons back, you know, like, don't be afraid to take that moment to sort of just stop and recognize it, because you know, sometimes they're fleeting, sometimes, but regardless, you know, it is a moment of joy, and I think joy needs to be celebrated when it's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
100% agree.
So like, to sort of like move from this, like, yeah, Mika, taking a moment to be present and joyous. Yes, exactly. Hi, Mooney. Exactly. And I think that's that's so important, to be present, and to sort of live in the moment is like so important. You know, in my therapy, I work to practice, like, we work on cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and the practice of like being in the moment, being present, and when there are these like automatic thoughts that come into your head of like negativity, to sort of like replace those with like alternate thoughts of like more like just grounded ideas, you know, like just being like, well, like if it's, say, like if I can give sort of like a crude example, good afternoon, hi Fizzy, hello, being present after years of being anything but can be very healing for people. Absolutely. Just like, so say like you come into a room, and this is just a sort of crude example off the top of my head. You go into a room and there's like a few people that you know who are talking, and all of a sudden it goes silent when you walk into the room.
Yeah.
You know, and then so like your initial thought would be like, fuck, like were they just talking about me? You know, of just like that immediate thought, like, oh fuck, you know, like what the hell, why did it go so awkward, why, and like your mind starts racing, like why the fuck did they just stop talking, you know, why, and so instead of feeding your mind with like these thoughts of like, oh, maybe they were talking shit about me, maybe whatever, you know, like to sort of like stop yourself and just be like, hey, well, maybe they were just having a private conversation. Maybe they were just having like a little moment between them, and sort of now they just, you know, wanted to sort of be able to put more focus on you being present, as opposed to sort of like ignoring your existence and just like carrying on in the conversation, you know, like, and just that idea of injecting like more grounded thoughts, you know, in an effort to stay present, you know, because I know for me, like, overthinking is definitely a huge thing, you know, but giving yourself those moments of like, hey, you know, like maybe there's more to this, maybe there's, and I think that falls in a lot of like, you know, neurodivergent spectrums of thought, you know, like, but just taking those moments to appreciate, you know, and be like, hey, well, maybe there isn't all bad in the situation. Maybe there's good. Maybe there's good.
No, I definitely feel that. Like for me, like
and hello.
One of the biggest things that I've had to figure out is just how to
quiet my mind, because it can get very exhausting and overwhelming. Like it can literally be like an overload, because at least for me, like my brain is thinking thoughts all the time. Like I feel like there's a meme of like, at any given time in my brain there's like 4 different thought trains running, and then like like a song is playing randomly in the corner, and someone's crying over there, and like it's kind of real, like
Yeah. It's like you're like constantly like on the internet, like just with like 15 different tabs open,
yeah, pretty much.
and like also listening to
so,
Spotify,
yeah.
and playing a game on your Switch or whatever, like.
Yeah, so I think that like finding ways of, aside from like joy when it comes to neurodivergency specifically, like finding ways like finding peace, like finding moments of peace, and like little blips where I can just like kind of be peaceful and get away from the everything everywhere all at once all the time, is really good for my mental health.
It really is. It really is. Only 15. Listen, I was lowballing it, okay? I was lowballing it. That's on a quiet day. That's yeah, I think that's why kind of like playing music kind of like is like really like a physical instrument really sort of satisfies that sort of itch, that need to sort of like multitask in your brain, because like in like playing piano, for instance, because I've played piano for a number of years growing up and such, and like when you're playing piano, like and you're using both hands, like you have to be able to sort of split your brain, and so your right hand is doing one thing and then your left hand is doing something completely different, and that ability to sort of like compartmentalize your brain to like just like fragment and just be like, okay, this here, you this part of your brain you do this, and then this part of your brain you do this. Like this is kind of like what my brain is kind of doing all the time anyways on its own. So if I could like train my brain to be like, hey, hey, you part of your brain, instead of like thinking about like what you want to have for dinner tonight, like how about you like think about this, and hey, you like instead of thinking about like what chores you have to do, or whatever, how about you do this, and like it's just kind of like using those parts of your brain to actually like do something physical, to do something like constructive, and I always found it very like peaceful to play piano and to like play an instrument for that reason. It's just like that taking your brain and like being like, here, like do something with these channels that you have open, just go ahead, like have fun,
Yeah, absolutely. It can be really good, like to channel those like thoughts and all that energy sometimes too.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be like in music playing and whatever. Hi, Toothy Cat. It could just be whatever sort of like calms your brain, like, or gives you those moments of like of silence in your brain,
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's super important, yeah, to just like take some time away from the everything and to just rest. So spoons are a real thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Spoons are a
definitely,
very real thing.
definitely. And I'm really glad that and happy that you also use the spoon theory. For those who are not familiar with spoon theory, it's an idea of that, like a theory that basically representing your the amount of capability that your brain has as far as like mental health and ability, and sort of like quantizing it into like an element of like spoons. How much you have capable, how much you're mentally capable of, and each activity that you do sort of like can either like detract or even ideally add to those things, to those spoons, and there is like a real possibility of being in like a deficit of spoons, and things that like really just like zap the shit out of your mental health, and that could be really really daunting, really exhausting, but taking that and just at least being aware, I think is like a huge thing. Just kind of like looking inwards and being like, hey, like how am I feeling right now? And in an effort to like at least to express that and be like, someone comes to you and be like, hey, like, like, oh, I need help with something. We're like, oh, sorry, can we do that later? Like, I don't have the spoons right now, kind of thing. Or like, inversely, if someone like needs your help with like some advice or whatever, be like, hey, Fox, like I'm in a real big bind right now. Like, do you have the spoons to talk about something right now? Like.
Yeah, and then I can either go, yes, I do, or, I care about you, but I don't have the spoons right now. So, like, if it's urgent, like, I hope you find the support you need. And otherwise, like, if you want to come back later and talk, like, I'll let you know when I have the spoons. So, no, like, being one of the things that's helped me most to, like, manage in a world that's not built for me is, like, learning to be in touch with myself and where I'm at, like learning to recognize when I'm getting overwhelmed, overstimulated, when I need to take like a break, when I need to find like some peace,
right.
How I'm feeling, and then being in touch with how much energy do I have, how am I spending my spoons, which is still very much a process, but it's I try to practice being more in touch with like figuring out how to spend my energy, so that I can do everything, I want to, or as many of the things that I like, as many of the things as I can that I want to, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah. Recognizing.
So paying attention to yourself is super important.
Yeah, exactly. Recognizing when you need space, what boundaries would help at the moment, and how to communicate that is effective and helpful. Yes, exactly. Absolutely. It's so beneficial, and like I know it could be like a difficult thing, but it's something that comes in with practice, and like I feel like having both sides of this conversation is really important, and just being like like hey, like I just need some time and space and whatever, but also being aware of other people's like mental health as well, and being conscious of that, and being like, hey, like, do you have the spoons right now? Do you have the mental capacity to have this conversation, to have this situation? Because being aware of both sides, I think, is like so beneficial to ourselves and to our relationships as well. Like, that's something I recently realized I need to work on, and it's been so helpful. Yeah, I'm glad that you've been able to work on that. It's so valuable for ourselves and for like the connections that we have with others as well. And you know, just like the simple act, if somebody is like, you know, like they have like something to talk to me about, you know, like whether it's like about me or about themselves or whatever, and them just taking the moment and being like, hey, like, you know, there's something that's been preying on my mind, you know, like, do you have the spoons that to talk about it right now? You know, that is such a huge thing for me. That is such a huge thing. If people are actually like sort of like aware, you know, of the energy that they can potentially bring to the table, instead of just sort of like diving right in and just being like, wow, you know, like trauma dump.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's such a huge thing. It's such a huge thing for me. Because like, don't get me wrong, like I love and I want to help my friends, or you know, I want to hear my friends out if they have something important to tell me. But you know, like just being aware of the energy that they bring to the table, you know, like, and like myself in particular, I'm extremely empathic. I'm extremely sensitive to energy. It's not something I can turn off. So if people are sort of like aware of that and people are like, hey, you know, like I need some of your spoons, you know, can you spare, you know, and it's just like, oh yeah, okay, you know, that in and of itself is like even helps me to be even more receptive to the idea after. You're such a dork, Mika. You're not wrong. I am a bit of a dork. I am. I can be a bit of a dork, absolutely, but I celebrate it. It's
a good thing.
Yeah, it is. I try for it to be a good thing. You know, I try to remember that. But like, if you have any questions for me, and if like chat, you have any questions, like either for myself or Vox here, like feel free to just like throw them into the chat, and we'll we can do our best to sort of get to as many of them as we can. But it's just sort of wanted to sort of open the floor to all of you. I try to be a good thing.
Hit me with it. Ask about my deepest, darkest secrets.
They were so
whatever.
real for that. Yeah.
There we go.
I try to be a good thing. Yeah. Yeah. Go for
I
it.
had a question that I lost it, so give you.
Yeah. You're valid.
I know I had one in my brain, and now I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck was my question? I don't know.
It was with the topic about like, you know, being neurodivergent. That's like the most like valid time to have such a such a situation. So please take your time, you know, and
ADHD went burr. I forgot my question.
I forgot, yeah. The deepest secrets. The deepest.
Yes, uncover the deep lore.
Yeah, like.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, nothing. Yeah, go.
Oh, I think I was just gonna say, like, I think one thing that I'm curious about,
You know, and this is a little bit of my VR Rainbow focus on content creation popping up, I guess, but like, you know, do you try to unmask on stream? Like, what has that process been like for you? Like, has it been difficult? Like, have you found any things that have helped you, you know, unmask more on stream?
Yeah.
I know it's like a 17-part question. I'm terrible with that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's actually more concise than you realize. I think that is like something that I definitely try to do. Unmasking, yeah. It's something because like when I present myself on stream. Like I try to be like my genuine self. Like I want to be my genuine self. Like what you see is what you get. This is not a character. This is not like a lore persona. This is just me. This is just me. Like it's literally what you get. And so I definitely try to do my best to like unmask, you know. And there's been a lot of things excuse me, growing up that have like I found it like very difficult for me, because like, you know, being like ashamed of certain behaviors or you know, like the way I am, in fear of like being like, you know, castigated and unliked. But you know, like this is something that I've been working towards, and like being in the limelight as I have been has kind of given me that opportunity to be like, hey, like it is okay to be as I am, you know, and to sort of just put myself forward and you know, like it's been so good for my like self-confidence and like self-discovery, you know. Ventures into the lemon light. Not lemon light, limelight. It's different citrus. Different citrus.
What about orange light? Can we have orange light?
I mean, I suppose we can.
What about grapefruit light? What about grapefruit light? Who's in the grapefruit light? What's going on with the grapefruit light?
You know, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
We love radical self-acceptance. Yeah. That's it. It's been so good. It's been so good. Just being able to sort of just like put myself forward and just be like, you know what, this is me, you know, accept it and love it, you know, like it's been so fantastic, honestly, like that moment you realize that like, hey, you can be a fucking absolute dork on the internet, and people will love you for it. Grapefruit like see what I mean? Exactly what I mean right here, you know. You can be an absolute dork on the internet, and people will like celebrate along with you, you know, like and it's fantastic. It's so freeing. It has allowed me to sort of explore and be more happy with myself than I fucking ever have been in my whole life. You know, and
yeah, absolutely.
Getting closer and closer to like being myself every single day. You know, my goodness, it's just been like amazing. Whispers, Moonlight Gang. Yeah, you are part of the Moonlight Gang. You are part of the Moonlight Gang. I love that. Yeah, it's been just so enriching to be able to just like unmask.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing.
I appreciate
Thank you for asking. I'm both of you very inspirational. Oh, thank you. That's a hard thing to learn.
Yeah, I'm currently trying to learn. Can confirm, it's tricky as fuck. It's fucking hard.
Yeah. Sure is. But like, I think it's just like streaming, and like it's not just like the act of streaming, but it's just like the absolute supportive community that I've like fallen into, and you know, just the more and more I and I mentioned this before, to just like give myself the permission to let go. I think it's so important to sort of like, even if you need to literally do that, and just stop and take a moment and breathe and be like, you know what? I'm fucking awesome. You know, like
Yeah.
you said before, like you just take a moment. You know, you've gotten this far. You've done everything. Like, even if it's just like you've gotten up in the morning, you've gotten up today. Like, that is a win. You are fucking awesome. And
Absolutely. Second retweet.
just take those moments, take those glimmers, take those fucking glimmers and run with them. You know, because like, god damn, life can be a fucking like just tricky bastard sometimes. But you just hold on to that light when you can. You know, if you see that light, hold on to it as long as it's there.
Mm-hmm.
You live a life defined by the expectations and demands of others, and you look at yourself and wonder, what is the simple, authentic self, right? Yeah. Life is like a mischievous badger. I'm waiting for the follow up on this.
I'm curious. Yeah.
Yeah, but Panini, where are you going with this? Life is like a mischievous badger. is there a follow up for that? Because if not, it's cool. It's cool. You could just leave it at that. It's valid, you know. But yo, like honey badgers, they don't give a fuck. They just like they play by the beat of their own fucking drum, you know? They don't give a shit.
Yeah. My family has a running joke that like if we had like a family crest, you know, like I think like old like medieval families, or like if we had like a family crest, it would be like a raccoon eating fried chicken out of like a dumpster and then giving you like the middle finger, which I can't even do on this model, I think, which I won't do, but you get the point. Middle finger, insert here.
Hold on. Oh, wait. There you go. Boom.
Wait, yes! Yes! Mika's got it! Mika's got it! So I don't know, I try to live my life with just a little bit of that, because sometimes you just gotta be a fucking raccoon and eat fried chicken out of the fucking dumpster, and just that's like, you fucking do you know.
Honestly, though,
as long as it's not hurting anyone else, you just live your life in the way that feels right to you. And at least for me, that's one step forward, one step back. Like, it feels like a puzzle, like I don't know how to explain it, but if you ever played one of those circular puzzles where you have to like move the pieces in circles to like get anywhere, like sometimes like you just have to make moves until you figure out that feels wrong, that feels right, or sometimes you just can't fucking tell and you just shuffle pieces around for a while until you figure it out, and that's okay. Like, you also don't ever have to figure it out. Like, it's up to you as to whether or not that's important. Or you can just vibe with the mysteries of life and be like,
Fox,
well, I'm here, I'm existing. Okay, I've been playing too much The Room recently, okay?
Listen, that's Panini that said it, alright? That's Panini. I know,
shut up, Panini, shut up.
I know as a little girl,
I'm kidding.
I internalized the pressure to never be too much or too big. And so you grow and try to be real, but find something you're commonly afraid of. Your authentic self being too big takes work. Yeah, absolutely. But I gotta go. All right, Bandit. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed yourself here. Yeah, like I grew up with a very like strong personality from both my parents, particularly my father being very, very like be yourself, be real, and just, but like it's just like almost aggressively so. So like I grew up with that mentality, and like I've definitely tried to be like real in a lot of ways, but like you're saying, the true authentic self that I was like so afraid to let out, you know. Was just like sort of like lying dormant, like just afraid of being even seen. It's just it was just so exhausting, you know, and just trying to like keep that back. And then it took so much work to sort of get to where I'm at now. But at a point, like it was a break for me. It happens differently for everybody, but for me, it was just a literal breaking point. That I was just like, no, I fucking have to like come out and make a change right now, because like I literally have no other option. Like this is literally it.
Yeah.
This is now, or like, you know, insert worst case scenario here, you know, like so it was like an absolute necessity, you know. In all seriousness though, as someone that has been doing a lot of queer self-reflection over the last few years, the few months that I've spent on Twitch, in Twitch queer spaces so far, have been the most validating thing I've experienced thus far. Thank you both of you for everything you do. Oh, sorry for the. You're fine. Oh my God, that's so
Aw.
sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's really sweet, Penny. Thank you. Honestly, like that's just something that I really.
Thank you, Panini.
I'm gonna get like a little sappy and choked up for a moment, but like, this is why I do this. And like the moment that you had like had responded to like when I asked what is like being queerodivergent mean to you, hi media, hello. This when I asked you like what does being queerodivergent mean to you, like, you know, and just like just being myself, you know, this is why I do this. This is like literally like you hit the fucking the nail on the head so much, so hard, in terms of like why I even wanted to do this podcast to begin with, and like why I have this like channel at all, is like I wanted to create a space that I never had. I want to be the friend that people deserve. I want to be that love that people need.
Yeah, absolutely. I resonate a lot with that too.
And like it's such an honor to like be able to sort of like provide that space for people, and like, you know, messages like that, Panini, like it just makes me like really feel like, you know, this sort of has been worth it, has like I've done what I've like set out to do, and I want to continue to do that, you know. And as much as we get all silly and joke around and sometimes like incredibly thirsty, like it all revolves around just like being like happy and like you're just your authentic self, you know, and whatever that looks like to you, you know, and just pushing forward and just trying to be trying to find joy.
Yeah.
Joy in
Like,
being yourself.
Yeah. I have always said that, like, you know, I don't know always. I mean, I guess but for as long as I can remember, like streaming, like my thought and what I've said, which is true, has been like, if I stream and it brightens up even like one person's day, then it was 100% worth it. Like sometimes,
Even if that person, like, even if I just know it brightened up my day, like it's worth it to me. But if I can, like, people shed so much light and love into the world. Like people like beings, like all the beings watching this, like you, like being a person, being a being is like such a wonderful thing, and we have such radiant souls. Like sometimes like you can just look at everyone and just see like the glow that comes out of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I guess it's corny, but when I stream, I just want to try and shine as brightly as I can. And, you know, sometimes it's not always being happy, but, you know, like I don't know. I don't know how to explain that better than that, but it was an attempt.
No, that's valid. That's valid. And you're doing it so well. I'm very proud of you. Thank you, Ale. And hi, Kopum. I hope I get to hear you having more, Mika. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna sob for real. So many beans, TM. Makes sense, Fox. Yeah.
I always want to say people, and then I try to remember that not all people feel like people, so I try to expand it to like beings.
Thank you. Actually, that's so valid. That's so valid, and I really appreciate the use of. 1 second. Damn it. Oh no, it's fine. I have to answer that later. It's my father. I'll get that later. Yeah. Like you're saying, like it's people are just filled with so much light and love, you know, and we are beings of light, you know. It's and just we should just all be able to be free to shine that light, you know, when we're able to, you know, and that's what this whole conversation is about, you know. Like being queerodivergent just means that you're just trying to be happy. You're just trying to be joyous, you know. You're trying to live your life the best you can with what hand you were dealt, you know. And that's not always easy. But you know, I feel like we're all like much stronger when we join together in solidarity, and bind together as a community, you know, as opposed to just trying to fight like alone, you know, because we're not alone, you know. And it's so much more worthwhile, like when you feel like you're when people have your back, and people, you know, are there with you, and you know, sort of to make that journey like a little bit more comfortable, a little bit easier, you know, and a little happier along the way. Having met like so many like life-changing individuals along the way, like, has been just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's such a wonderful thing. It's such a magical thing. I love being a ray of light. I wish it was easier to simply shine in ways that make me happy over over what others want of me. Yeah. But for a few people,
Yeah, it's real.
yeah, they want me to shine as I want, and I cherish and love, cherish that love. Absolutely, absolutely.
Fizzy Rabbit BR gifted a
Aw.
tier 1 sub to Panini Creature. They have
Fizzy.
given 107 gift subs in the channel.
107. That's wild. You're a mad lad. Oh my god! Thank you for the gifted sub.
Oh my gosh.
God damn. Yo, Fizzy, thank you. That's really sweet of you. Thank you, thank you. I'll put it to good use. Oh. enjoy your emotes handcrafted with love and the ad-free viewing for the whole 30 days. Let the panining begin. Oh my god.
Let the Nini happen.
Let the panining begin.
Panining? 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 I don't even know. The panining.
Fizzy Rabbit BR gifted a tier 1 sub to Moonlight Breeze _. They have
Fizzy.
given 108 gift subs in the channel.
What? Thank you so much for the gifted sub to Mooney. Oh my god. Thank you.
Yes, give Mika all your money, forfeit all mortal possessions.
Only
Forfeit all mortal possessions to the
only-
Mika.
only within reasonable like capable parameters. No one
Forfeit
can-
all mortal possessions to the Mika.
no one can be happy all the time. That's why I love this community, because we're all here for each other. Absolutely. All for the me gang. Step on me. Yes, you get the step on me emote back. That's one of my favorite emotes. That's one of my favorite emotes. I love it. I love that one a lot. That's funny. It's a good one. It makes me smile. It makes me smile. I think like the jammies is like one of the most used emote that I have. I think is one of the most. It's usually up there as far as emotes is concerned. That and the pat. Yeah. This is like, I'm not even gonna like, okay, it's gonna sound biased, but that's like the best head pat emote on Twitch. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna just say it right now. I'm sorry to all you other people who have head pat emotes. I'm sorry. This one is my favorite. It's so fluent and was like made like frame by frame in like the most exhausting way possible. It was like literally she took like 8 hours to make that emote. She took a whole day.
Holy crap!
She took an entire day.
I mean, it
to
looks amazing. I love it.
It's the fluidity of that emote is like, it's worth every single penny. It's so good. I've been really lucky, like just surrounding myself in the people that I have, because like I've met so many incredible artists, and like, you know, when starting up, you know, my internet daughter, my chosen daughter, she is an artist, and she's like, you know, do you want, I can make you emotes, and it's just like boom, and like made me like my first set of emotes like completely free, just like, was just like out of the kindness of her heart. Be like, oh, I'd be like, here, I kind of want an emote like this, and she'd just be like, boom, here you go. And just as my emote slots became open, like she would just like make me more and more and more and more, and it was just like so kind, you know. And then I eventually like got to like be able to the point to afford like being able to actually commission my own emotes and stuff like that as well. And yeah, just the absolute like amount of like love that people are capable of, you know, here in this world is just amazing. And just given the opportunity to show it, I think is like, I think people are always like able to surprise and enlighten you, you know, like given the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome, and I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, thank you. It's been definitely a journey of trial, you know, and but all that aside is just celebrating like the joy of diversity, joy of yourself, you know, and being surrounded by people who are down to do that as well. Just be like, I see you, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That's really, that kind of thing is really important. Just to witness each other for the beings we are.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you know, to be able to say like, I see you, like, and to be seen, not just like in the physical, but like to be like truly seen is like something that is like irreplaceable, is just so fundamentally huge. And having that opportunity to be like, I can just let go and just be like,
yeah, it's extremely meaningful.
I am me. And like, you
100%.
know, the word of the day, unmasking, you know, to be able to unmask and just like fucking let go and just be like, hey, that's it, you know, this is me. Sorry I came in too late. Have great questions for Vox. I'm only familiar. I came into late. Have great questions for Vox. I'm only familiar. They are really cool, as Bun has mentioned. Yes, Vox is very, very cool. And if you don't already like follow them, like if we can just please get a big shout out for Voxolotl, and like, you know, thank you so much for sitting here and like talking with me today and having these like amazing conversations, because this is like truly been like absolutely amazing experience.
Yeah, thank you
me.
so much for having me. Like, this has been absolutely wonderful. I have like really enjoyed it. It has genuinely been super meaningful to do. So thank you so much for doing this, by the way, as like a thing. Like, I know how hard it is to like get this kind of thing started, and like to do it. And like, I am so proud of you. I'm so excited to see where life as a Queerodivergent goes. I think it's gonna be amazing.
Thank you, so lovely. Thank you. I thank you. That means a lot. This is something that I've like had the idea for like several years now. But yeah, if one of my mods can please shout out Voxolotl, please, that would be super duper. This has been beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. What? Nice. I appreciate the effort. But Bunnybot 9000 has shut you down, unfortunately. She's telling you don't have the mod privileges through this.
No, Badge. It's okay. You tried.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thanks to everyone in chat for hanging out, by the way.
Thank you all.
Y'all are so
seriously.
cool.
Yeah, y'all are super duper cool. Thank you for getting a shout out to Vox. As you've all perceived with your own eyes and ears, they are just like a very like warm and genuine individual, and I really appreciate their light that they bring to this world, because like it's a rare gift to find people who can bring this type of light and energy to the world, because you know we all need this kind of this light and love out in our lives, and I think you do that like quite spectacularly. So you know, like I hope you continue to do as you're doing, and you know keep flourishing as you have been, because you know, it's wonderful to
You're
know.
gonna make me cry.
Mm.
Oh.
And hit 700 followers just now. Nice. What?
Wait, really?
And
Holy
fucking
shit!
congrats on 700
Sorry, where's my
followers.
phone?
Ba, 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 ba.
Thank you all so much. I'm like such a dingus. I didn't even realize. Holy
What?
Thank
Fuck
you all
yes.
so much.
Let's go.
Oh my god.
I followed. Yes. Hell
Thank
yes.
you.
Hell
Thank you
yes.
so much for the follows. It
Congrats.
means a lot.
Yes. All the
Thank
fucking
you.
hype.
No
Oh my
obligation,
God.
but thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Gotta support good beings.
you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's go. Thanks, y'all.
Yep.
Thank you all so much. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't even realize.
Thank you all so much. And yeah,
Thank
never
you
any
all.
obligation to follow or drop
No
by, but
obligation.
If you ever do, thank you so much. It
Follow
means a
that
ton.
button.
No
They-
obligation. No. Only if
Might
you
say
want. Only if
otherwise,
you feel like it.
but,
Only
like,
if you're like that
nah.
axolotl slaps.
The axolotl slaps.
That axolotl slaps, yo.
That's a mood. That's a mood. No obligation. Only a joy. Yes. Aw. That's
And I'm straight back to almost crying.
that's there's some words right there. Some words.
But seriously, thank you, Mika. You and your community are insanely sweet. So thank you
You're
so much
welcome.
for like having me here and for sharing some space with me, with you and your community.
Of course. And like thank you for like having me on your podcast, and like giving me that extra like little push of like, you know, of like what I needed to be like, hey, like this isn't as far out of reach as I thought, and like, you know, it's just been, yeah, it's such an amazing opportunity to be on yours, and now to sort of like you know, I was in like the first episode of this new season, and you know, now you're the first episode on my series altogether, you know, and to just have that sort of fall full circle has been just like really serendipitous, you know, in the way things worked out. So, you know, thank you for wanting to be the first person on the show, because
I was honestly super excited. I was so excited when you reached out to me, and for me it is definitely an honor. Also serendipitous with the vocab. Oh my gosh.
please. Dan, Voxelottle's got hands. Yeah.
Yeah, I have hand. I don't know why.
I don't do the hand flip thing that often, but I find it really fun to do it in VR. Like, I don't actually do it that much, like IRL, but then I like sometimes when I hang out in VR, I'll just be like,
I love VR for this like ability to like just like express yourself in ways that like you wouldn't otherwise think of doing these things, you know, like it's great. cute. And so I'm gonna put this up on YouTube as well. I'm gonna download the VOD and put it up, so there will be a permanent copy out there in the spheres.
Yay!
So
Yours will be up on YouTube soon, according to Spoons. Soonish. By the end of the year. Something like that.
oh yeah, no, most definitely. I after stream, I'm gonna just download the VOD and then at least have the physical copy, as well. I think there is a feature to sort of directly import, but I guess I'll figure out how I want to do that. Yeah.
Godspeed. I'm
Godspeed.
terrible at it.
Godspeed. Yeah, I know this has been such a fulfilling and warm conversation, and totally true. VR chat provides ways to non-verbally communicate in ways that one does not do in real life. Yep, you can export things directly to YouTube. Oh, cool. Yeah. And that's you're absolutely right, Fizzy. And one thing, just sort of a comment on just the way you said it, and it's valid the way you say it, but just a sort of thing that I've been sort of being mindful of is as opposed to calling it IRL or real life, outside of VR, I've been after having a talk with my friend T, been more making an effort to call it the physical or physical reality, as opposed to IRL, because this in and of itself is a reality, hence why it's called virtual reality. It is a reality, and to some folks it is
That's true.
very real, and so I making an effort to not sort of discount the reality that this realm holds for folks, and sort of just differentiating it and calling it in person in VR. Yeah, exactly. In the real space, see, again, that kind of
person.
that kind of holds the same sort of connotation, just bringing a differentiation between the physical and tangible, because this is tangible in its own way, but there is physically holding, I have my phone here in my hand, I'm physically holding it, and so this is a physical world. I inhabit a physical body, but here in the virtual world, this is a reality in and of itself, and sensations can be quite real, and the people here are quite real. The conversations and the experiences that you have with the people are very real. Never thought I'd see a podcast on VR chat. Cool. Well, thank you. Welcome in, Scaled Knight. I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself. Even the chats in video games, it's reality as long as there's someone behind it, as long as it gives you feelings. Absolutely. Ultimately,
Sorry, I play too much League.
Friends don't let friends play League. Okay, moving on. Ultimately,
Some realities are unfortunate.
ultimately, we are interfacing with the outside world via our flesh vessels. Absolutely. Kremlin laugh. We're electrical signals in a brain. Absolutely. I was thinking of League too. Oh my god. Friends don't let friends play League. Okay, moving on.
Oh my god, fellow League players in the chat.
No.
I'm sorry.
No. That's
Play
not.
with me anytime, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're trapped in there with me.
No. That's not something I'll back. No solidarity for that. No, I'm sorry.
What? We can't have solidarity through suffering. Come on, Mika. Come on.
I don't know. League are a gremlin breed? Yeah, never again. Yeah, can't believe these folks are all secretly in league with each other. Oh my god.
Oh, in league with each other.
That's
was
good. That's
stellar.
good.
That was
That's
stellar.
yeah. You get 100 internet points, Mooney, to spend wherever you are able to, wherever redeemable. Smart. Smart. There is I'm not like the inventor of doing podcasts or interviews in VR by any means. Another huge inspiration to me as far as when the first person that I saw doing this as a median is Girls, a really good friend of mine, Chelsea.
Oh yeah.
Mika invented podcasts. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. No, but yeah,
This is the first podcast ever.
Yeah. No, Girls has really inspired me as far as that this was a possibility of doing, and the first time I streamed VR chat, I just picked a random VR chat streamer, and Girls was there. And she was in the middle of an interview, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool!" And they had such a really cool vibe. And then I instantly made friends with them because I was I heard them mentioning we each got a really good vibe from each other straight off the bat. And then they mentioned knowing Girls, not Girls, mentioning that they know Bunny Hearted, and I was like, what do you mean? Bunny Hearted's a really good friend of mine, that's amazing, you know them. And then that was the insta in, and they were like, well, if you're friends with Bunny Hearted, then you're friends with me, you're good people, and we became friends, and we added each other on Discord and on VR chat, and we just sort of hung out and became friends after that. And it was just a huge rabbit hole that opened up from that point on. But having seen her interviews and stuff, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I would love to do something like that on my own. And then being on yours, and I was like, wow, this is being on the inside of it, it's really cool. I want to be able to be on the outside of this as well, and try that for myself. And here we are. The internet points, these are rare. Yeah, you gotta hold on to those. Either save them or spend them as you wish. They're you can buy some internet snacks with them. That's such a good use. Holes for bunnies, exactly, bunny holes. Yeah.
No, you didn't hear me laugh. I don't know what you're talking about.
I appreciate your authenticity in your
donuts.
podcast efforts. Oh, thank you. It's like a donut. Yeah, this has been such a cool experience, and I really can't wait to do it again. The next one that I have lined up, I want to say, I don't think it's next weekend. Maybe it's the weekend after. I'll have to double check on the dates. Oh, fuck. Let me actually. You know what? I should probably check that right now. Just cause. Oh, thank you. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, no worries.
What?
I am gonna take this opportunity to do one shameless self-plug, but only one. Only because it's for charity. I'm doing my first charity streams in October. I'm gonna be doing some Spooktober horror gaming streams and raising money for the Hawaii Community Foundation. So get hyped for that. I'm gonna stream on the 7th and the 12th, so there's gonna be 2 of them. There's gonna be
Fuck
incentives.
yes.
I'll be posting more about it like this coming week. But I will shamelessly shill this one time, but because it's for charity. And so I really want to try and hit our goals. So stay
Aw.
tuned for that. And it would mean a lot if you're able to come in and donate when we do that. So all right, shameless self plug over.
I love that. I love that. I love it. So the next is on the 6th. Is that next week?
I think that's next week.
That's next week, yeah, because this is the 30th. Yeah. so
Yeah.
the 6th is
Okay.
next
So
week.
that's this coming Friday. Friday of next week. There's gonna be another one. Friday evening. So it's gonna start at 7 p.m. EST. And so it's gonna be a little bit later in the day. But the next episode is then. It's gonna be my friends Kara and T, aka Ikaros Chans, and their partner T. They're both, which I actually had the absolute pleasure of meeting in the physical world recently. I was just like absolutely lucky. This is like the first time I actually got to meet somebody who like I met strictly from VR, and I met them in the physical world, and like it was just so cool. They're such amazing people. So next episode is on Friday. You can look forward to that. It's gonna be with 2 people at the same time. It's Vox. I love Vox. Hi Kate. Hi Cyber. Hello. T is rad. T is super rad. They're like even more rad, if that's even imaginably possible, for in the physical world. Excuse me. 2 people at once. Yeah, it's gonna be both of them at the same time. I'm gonna need a. Actually, maybe we can use the same world. I might be. It might be in this world. It might be in a different world. But regardless, it's gonna be me with the 2 of them together, and it's gonna be amazing. I think it's gonna be super fun. But today has been Mika sandwich. That's my favorite sandwich. Yeah. Oh, don't you worry, Cyber. Don't you worry. I'm such a goof. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think we're going on like 3 hours for the interview. I'm getting a little thirsty, a little hungry.
I'm just EP, but I'm always EP.
I mean, you were
I've been
EP.
getting
You were
EP.
EP from the moment you got here. So, and like you
But
didn't
then I
yawn
was
once
less
though.
EP, and now I'm EP again.
You didn't yawn once.
See, I told you I wouldn't yawn during the interview. It was just like the 17 times I yawned right before we went live. I had to get it all out of my system. And now,
Oh my
speak
god.
of the devil.
Oh my god. Ugh. Why? See, you see what we just did? You see what we just done? You see what we just done?
I brought back the curse of the yawns. What can I say?
But yeah, so I think we are gonna I think we're gonna raid out and because I have to use the washroom and just kind of unplug a little bit. T is really cool though.
Absolutely.
We're chatting about gender and being non-binary recently. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I had some really awesome conversations with T as well, and I think it's gonna be really, really cool to having them on stream here and being able to share stories with them on Friday. It's gonna be super cool. So y'all, if y'all liked the vibe of this, it's gonna be very similar on Friday. So y'all will want to check it out, and make sure to also follow Voxelotl here. This little pointy
Only
bean,
if you want to.
because
Alright.
Voxelotl slaps. Thanks, Mika and Voxel, for this. Oh, of course. Thank you all for being here. Honestly, like super huge thank you all for hanging out and for listening, for chatting, and for just being you, honestly. Because like that like, to sort of summarize with all of this, you know, being queerodivergent is a beautiful thing, and should be celebrated. It should be celebrated. And so, just, if nothing else today, I want you to take a moment to yourself. Just take a deep breath, look inside yourself, and just say out loud, "I'm fucking awesome." And just I want you to take a moment and give yourself the permission to celebrate yourself, because, like, you are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of love. You are all beings of light and love, and let's all just shine on and celebrate each other while we have the time, because let's just all do it together as people, as beings, because we have each other. We can all just lift each other up. We're all fucking amazing, and let's all just lift each other up while we have the means, because beautiful thing.
Yeah, if, like, you are all, like, we are so proud of all of you. You are all so brave
And so wonderful, and even if it doesn't feel like it, you are doing awesome. Life can be really fucking hard, especially if you're, you know, queer, neurodivergent, or a queerodivergent watching this.
So, you're doing so much better than you might think you're doing, and remember to be
Kind to
you.
yourself, because you are radiant and you deserve it.
Well said. Well said. Well said. You're all valid. You're
I
all
try.
valid and worth the time it takes to give yourself that love and give yourself that permission to love yourself, because you just gotta take those glimmers, you know. Just take those glimmers when they're there. I don't know if I can at the moment, but it's a good idea. And that's totally valid. That's totally valid. Honestly, Mooney, like, that's totally valid. But just know, at the moment, like, on that topic, and I'm glad that you brought that up and you mentioned that, because I know it's tough. But how about, if you're not able to at the moment, let me tell you, Mooney, and everyone else out there, you're fucking awesome. You're valid. You're fucking awesome. And you're doing an amazing job. Y'all are stronger and more capable than you could ever imagine. And I'm just so proud of you. And if you can't, I'll find you and hug you till you feel it. You're both precious. Thank you, Midia. Lynn, thanks for the love. Thank y'all for being here.
I mean, these organs would be worth a lot on the black market.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is where we're... I
I got 2 real good kidneys in here. Anyone want them? I don't think I need both of them. I'm just saying.
What? Not you shilling out your organs. Come on, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I promised I wasn't gonna shill anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
What
so
is
sorry.
this? Oh my
I'm look
God.
at me. I'm not a man of my word. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. You have such beautiful eyes. How much for them? Oh my God. How much? Oh my goodness.
When I went to the eye doctor, they actually told me I had like really large pupils. So I guess, I don't know, I have unusually large pupils. I'm gonna charge you, I don't know, like $100,000 per eyeball. There, you can take them for that. I feel like that's a low ball. Maybe that's a low ball.
Can
a
I
million.
rent them?
A million. You can take it for $1 million. Bidding starts there.
Do I have to buy both kidneys, or can I get one for 50% off?
You are allowed to only buy one, but if you
What
only
a
buy
deal.
one, it does not come with a discount. But it is not a you have to buy, like it's you don't have to buy them as a set. You can just buy one. But if you do that, you do have to specify left or right, or you're just gonna get like whichever kidney I'm gonna flip a coin. Like you gotta make sure you tell me which side you need. Otherwise, like I don't know. I'll just have to eeny meeny miny, you know.
Yeah.
Or there's like, I can't remember the syllables that I want to use because I don't like that one, but I can't remember the syllables for the one that I want to use. I have to look it up soon so I can actually memorize it properly.
Well, hello, Mozu. I'm doing well, thanks. I hope you are as well. We're just about to wrap up here. We've just had a lovely interview here with Foxlotl, and we're just about wrapped up here. I have someone in mind that I wanted to raid into. I really enjoy her content. She's an ASM artist. She goes by Huntress Spectre. Super cool. Let's go show her some love. She does like a bit of like knife sharpening ASMR, which is like actually a lot cooler than it sounds. She's really cool. She's an awesome model, lovely vibe, like super cool. I dig her content a lot. I'll catch the VOD later, absolutely. And on that note, I will be putting up this VOD on YouTube as well. So yeah, once that drops, I'll share a link with all of you if y'all want to watch this again later on your own time. Absolutely, it's going to be up on YouTube. So can't choose left or right. You've got to be kidding me! Oh my God, Mooney.
Oh my God.
Wow, that. Oh, that
I mean,
got
look,
me into
you know,
a
I
wheeze.
can't help you if you don't give me information. I just gotta know left or right. Same thing with the eyeballs.
From this to knives.
Same deal.
Yeah, no, she's actually got a really. Don't let that segue throw you off. No, she's really actually super cool. She got a really awesome vibe and does ASMR super well. I actually get to raid into her, which we're not usually on at the same time. So I'm happy to do so. I have been recovering from a painful back injury, and I've been trying to stay positive while being unable to move. Oh no! I appreciate the kind words. Oh, and I've tried to stay positive. Oh, I'm sorry that you've gone through that, Cyber. I hope you recover quickly. I'm sorry to hear. Lots of love over to Cyber, if you can. Yeah, I'm definitely sorry that you're going through all of that. Let's just go bring out some love to Spectre. Let's bring some nice love over to them, because they deserve it. They deserve it.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's weird that it didn't raid. Two. Yeah, it's weird that it doesn't copy it twice. That's so weird. Anyways, let's go bring the love over. copy that raid message. Let's bring the love over to Hunter Spectre. Y'all, I'll be back on Monday for my regular scheduled stream. 7 p.m. Eastern, maybe a little earlier. But y'all, take good care of yourselves, please. Do something nice to yourselves. Remember that you're loved and you're worth it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the follows and for the raid and for the resubs and the subs and everything. And just thank you all just for being you. Thank you. So much love for all of you. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your time zone, and I will see you all in the near future. Well, on Monday if you all are there. So
Thanks everyone for hanging out. See you around.